All right, let's talk the Cup Series at Cota. We have our final picks video going over our final interest levels. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, it's over on Twitter. It's at Fast Cars FM. We'll post the spreadsheet there. You feel free to get access to it. Any questions, comments you guys have, feel free to drop them in the comments below or hit us up on Twitter. Like I said, it's at Fast Cars FM. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you, everybody, for all the support we've gotten so far. We're just going to dive right into it. So looking at the top range from Chase Elliott down to Ryan Blaney, I think there's a lot of good potential plays in this range. Looking at Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these plays. All of these guys are road course, ringers per se. I think they all have great place differential upside and finishing potential upside. So I'm really high on all of them. I don't know if I could rank the three of them, but I would, if you can get one of them or two of them or even three of them in your line, I think that is a good place to start. What about you, Kev? What do you think about this top range?
Yeah, man, I think it's kind of crazy how DraftKings seemed to nailed it, like a little insider move there. But all these guys, three best road coursers in the series, three top price drivers here, and they all offer PD starting within three spots of each other. So I think it's going to be. I think you got to have at least one of them, regardless. I think two of them is probably the way to go. How you choose two out of the three of them, I don't know, because they all offer you about the same deal. And I think it's just going to try to see where you think the ownership is going to be, and then maybe try to avoid some of that ownership a little bit, or just simply to, I don't know, whoever you think is going to do better. It's going to come down to personal preference. It's hard to, any of these three could win. They all offer you the same upside for the most part. So I think it's really hard to, pick two out of three of them. That's going to be something you're going to have to do, or one out of three of them, or however you want to play it. The only thing is Kyle Busch did run the truck here, so he does have a couple more laps down on this track this week. But other than that, I think one of these three probably are going to be your best chance to nail the winner, unless it comes from someone farther down. But it's hard to go wrong with any of these three.
Yeah, I think you guys nailed the 10K range there. So I'm just going to drop down here to the 9K range. My favorite play in this range is definitely William Byron. He offers the most place differential. He didn't really have a great practice or do much in qualifying, but he's in an HMS car and he's actually done pretty well in his career. He should be in the top 10 by the time the race is over, and that would be pretty good play for him, put him close to optimal. Like Martin Truex Jr. as well. He's pretty solid. Starting 17th. He's a great road course racer. Have no problems playing him. He should be racing up inside the top 10, top 5, maybe even have a chance to win this race. Austin Cindric is also pretty good at road courses. I'm just not really on him this week. I think he's priced up way too much just because DraftKings thinks he's really good at road courses. That I just don't like the price at all, so I'm not really on him. And then both Logano and Bell are probably more GPP plays this week just because we're looking for place differential more so than dominators or anything. They both have pretty good finishing potential, but you can get, Byron, Truex, or even Briscoe and Dinger right there who have more place differential, about the same finishing potential as well.
Yeah, I
Andrew?
like the 9K and the 8K range a lot. I think there's a lot of good potential drivers you can pair with the 10K range in this 9K and 8K range. Like Richard just saying right there, like William Byron, yeah, he didn't have a great practice in qualifying, but he does start relatively deep in the field. He offers a lot of place differential upside, a lot of finishing potential upside, and he's really easy to pair with a potential Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and or Kyle Busch. Same with Martin Truex. I think Austin Cindric is a little bit more of a GPP play. If you are, throwing a dart, trying to be aggressive, I don't mind Joey Logano or Christopher Bell, but if you are building one line, I think you should stay away from them and play, probably William Byron or Martin Truex in this range. And then as you migrate down to the 8K range, there's a lot of good plays in this range as well. A lot of good value plays. Really like Chase Briscoe at at 8-9, starting 14th. He's been having, great speed all year long. We've seen how well he's run on road courses in the past. Starting 14th, I think he offers some good upside at that price. And the same with Adrian Allmendinger. He literally just won the Xfinity race. He's won a cup race in the at the Indy road course. Yeah, a lot of cars wrecked out, but nonetheless, he still won. He starts 20th, so he offers you a lot of place differential, a lot of upside at that place, at that starting pace. And I also like Ross Chastain too. He ran the truck race, he ran the Xfinity race, got some extra laps on the track. Anytime you can get extra laps on this track, I think it's going to be a benefit to you. You start 16th. I think he offers you some good place differential as well. But what do you say, Kev? What do you think about this 9K and 8K range here?
Yeah, I think you guys pretty much nailed this down, but I do really think that when it comes to your lineups this week, this 9 and 8K range is going to be where you're either going to make it or break it. We've kind of seen it, the weeks before this, that it seems like those drivers that come out of nowhere, dominate the race, win. That we've seen a lot this year, come out of this 8 and 9K range. I mean, it's going to be obvious. You got Chase, you got Larson, you got Kyle Busch. Those guys are the favorites. They're going to be high owned. Everyone's going to be on them. So you're going to have probably at least one of them, but it's going to come down to this, and it's going to be your picks in this range that are really going to make or break your line. It could be the difference between you winning $1,000 or more, or, just getting a min cash, or maybe not even cashing at all if you happen to hit on the wrong guys. But I do like Chastain this week. I think he's got a lot of upside. He comes in kind of the cheapest out of the guys we like in this range. Offers you some potential upside potential there. He's been running really, really well this week. Trackhouse as a whole has been running really well this week. So I could see him as maybe that guy that sneaks in there this week and gets it done, but that kind of 8-9K range in general. But we'll move down here. And then the 7K range, it's kind of interesting. You don't have as much of like all the good places you do up above here, but you still have some decent plays. You got Eric Jones here starting 30th, comes in pretty cheap. Jones has been just on fire this year. Hasn't necessarily had the results at the end of the race to show for that, but he's been running like top 10, top 15 all year, been running top 5 a little bit. So I think he's someone to watch. Comes in cheap, maybe coming in underground because he keeps screwing people. But then you got Chris Buescher, and RFK hasn't been running very well at all this year. They started off real hot in those duels, running really, really well, and they haven't really done anything since. But Buescher comes in 22nd, so offers you a little bit of upside there. Comes in pretty cheap. Probably going to be relatively low owned just because they haven't been running well this year. But we know he's got the skill set and all these tracks, and kind of seems to do better at these tracks that just a little bit different than the kind of the cookie cutters we're used to running. Well, yeah, what about you, Rich?
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed the 7K range. Eric Jones is probably the best play in there, but I haven't found myself in this range too much just because I've been playing around with. But down here in the 6K range, really, I don't mind Ricky Stenhouse. He's starting pretty deep in the field. He's not super great at road courses, but he's not bad either. I mean, he's starting super deep, so he should be able to move forward. And he's relatively maybe a few $100s cheaper than he has been at most races this year, except for I think maybe one. Michael McDowell, he's generally runs well at road courses. He just like him, he offers a pretty good amount of place differential upside, and he can run up inside the top 20. Then the other guys in here probably more GPP. Almirola is all right. He's been running the best out of anybody pretty much this season. Then probably my favorite punt play of everybody is going all the way down here to Joey Hand. He had really great pace and practice before his Goodyear tire fell apart his car. We imagine that they'll have no problem fixing his car back up, but he had really good speed, and I'm probably going to be all on him this week. Andrew?
Yeah, once you get down lower on the slate, and you're going to need at least one, potentially even two of these drivers down here if you want to pair or stack, potentially some of those top plays that we talked about. But looking at the 6K range, I don't mind Stenhouse. I mean, he starts relatively deep in the field. I don't know how relatively high he can finish, but he starts so deep, he really can't hurt you. Almirola had his qualifying lap disallowed, and then he had to go out and post another lap, but he already had, full lap on his tire. So it really hurt him. So he's starting a little bit deeper than he should. So I don't mind him. We've seen how well McDowell has run in the past at road courses. So if you need a driver in the 6K range, I don't mind going to Stenhouse, Almirola, and or McDowell. And then if you get down to the 5K range and below, looking at some of these pump plays, I think there's a good opportunity. And with this next gen car and with just all the uncertainties, all the factors, whether it's the tires, whether it's mechanical failures, whether it's, a car spinning out, like whatever it is, we've seen a lot of these punt plays carry a lot more value than they normally would. So I'm relatively high on Todd Gilliland, Andy Lally, and Joey Hand, all for different reasons. I mean, Todd Gilliland has run pretty well all year long in this 38 car. It's not the best equipment. He did win this race last year in the truck series. Obviously, the truck car and the next gen car are completely different, but he did win the race nonetheless. And he has been a pretty viable punt play so far this season. Andy Lally starts DFL, so he literally can't lose you any points. Yes, he does have a pass-through penalty at the beginning of the race, but this race is relatively long enough with enough, stage breaks and probably cautions with tire failures and, whoever knows what else. I don't mind him. He can't literally lose you any points. And just like Rich said, Joey Hand. Joey Hand was really fast in practice. Unfortunately, his Goodyear tire blew apart and caused him some damage. So the team wasn't able to post a qualifying lap. But because of that, they're going to be starting on that last row right next to Andy Lally. So they have a ton of finishing potential. Probably not, but they do have a lot of place differential upside. And this race is relatively long enough that if we see a lot of cars have run into issues or wreck out, I think potentially, punting to either an Andy Lally, Todd Gill and or Joey Hand, or potentially even both of them, gives you a lot of salary relief and a lot of upside to play a lot of those top plays. But what about you, Kev? Are there any kind of pump plays from the 6K range on down that you're really looking to this weekend?
No, I think you guys really nailed this area. I do like Todd a lot this week. Kind of been high on Todd all year. He just keeps giving you the results that you hope for from your pump plays. That might come to bite us in the ass this week as we're so high on him. But he's been running really well. Seems to run well everywhere. We know he can run these road courses pretty well. So obviously doesn't offer you the upside some of these other guys, but just something to keep in mind. He's been the most consistent out of all these pump plays all year. But I really think this punt range in general, you're gonna have to probably end up down here if you're trying to get one, maybe two, maybe even three of those 10K guys. You're really trying to jam them in there. You're gonna end up down here. You're gonna have at least one of these guys, maybe two, depending on how you want to build your lines. So I think it's just, play that PD, play the safety here. This range, you're not asking for them to get a top 10. You're asking them for them to, if they can get a top 30, top 25, they're going to pay off that price, no problem. So, and like we've seen this year, we've seen a lot of accidents, a lot of issues from different cars, tire issues. So these guys, like Lally and Hand, they have some upside there, but you're also just going for pure attrition. If they can stay in the race, they're going to gain 5, 6, 7, 8 spots on top of whatever they're able to race and wheel their way up through. So that's kind of all we're going for here. You're probably going to end up this week unless you're just going to fade those 10K guys altogether. But that's all I got.
Sure, you got anything else for us before we hop off here?
Good luck, everyone.
All right. Well, that'll do it for our Cup Series Final Picks video. I just want to say thank you again for all the support. This year has been amazing. I think we're up to 360 subscribers so far at the time of recording this video for the Cup Series on our YouTube channel. The road to 1,000 subscribers continues. So thank you guys so much for all the support, all the likes, all the comments, all the follows, all the retweets, all the favorites, especially on our Twitter, which is @FastCarsFM. If you guys want access to the spreadsheet, you can follow it over on Twitter. Like I said, it's @FastCarsFM. As we get more information, as we find out, which drivers potentially might be going to the back, we'll update the spreadsheet accordingly. But other than that, that's going to do it for our Final Picks video for the Cup Series at Cota. And just thank you guys for tuning in and all the year-long support you've given us so far. And we will catch you on the next video. Best of luck, everybody.